feeling like we're gonna fight ya. Anything to make the crowd hyper. And I bring the fire like a lighter. I'm flexing on you suckers, this is Fight Club. Don't ever try to play me, I'm not with the fun. Rookie of the year, and I'm hella young. They call me Zombie Ray.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Eddie Hearn. Did Eddie Hearn seem gutted? Did Eddie Hearn seem hurt by Dillian Whyte's loss? G, I'm going to go to you.
Oh, this ain't G right now. This is 100% Conspiracy G. And Conspiracy G is saying this. Eddie was like cha-ching, you know what I'm saying? Eddie was like through the roof. And this is the reason why. Eddie looked destroyed when AJ lost. You know what I mean? It could have been because AJ's pops was about to duff him. You seen the worry in his face. After Dillian got knocked out yesterday, you just see him like posted up. Now he had a mask on, so you can't really feel or see the full a facial expression.
Even in the post-fight interviews, he didn't.
Yeah, he was just, it seemed like he's like, oh yeah, I feel bad for Dillian. Oh man, wow. But I'm like, nah, bruh. You really like, word. We just came up. Because now Dillian lost his mandatory due date. Povetkin now is the mandatory, because I remember Mauricio Suleiman said this like last week, I think. And he was like, Povetkin will be the mandatory. However, his due date starts next year. You know what I mean? So he has to wait a year to even get his mandatory slot. So now that leaves an entire year where Tyson Fury doesn't have to fight any mandatories. So within that year, Tyson Fury can negotiate a deal with Anthony Joshua. Hopefully, Anthony Joshua gets past Pulev to set up that mega fight that we've all been waiting for. You know what I'm saying? Undisputed. Boom. You know what I mean? And so I like to believe Eddie Hearn feels bad for Dillian. But business side of Eddie Hearn is like, we just came up. So I don't feel, and honestly, I don't even feel sad for Eddie Hearn either. Because, yeah, he's weeping. If in fact Dillian's his man's, which I don't really even think he's his man's like that, because why sign Dillian to a fight-by-fight deal with the Zone? If you was really rocking with him, you would have got him a certified deal with the Zone where it's like, yo, five fights for whatever million. He didn't do that with Dillian. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like Dillian's one of those, we'll use you because we can use you right now. But deep down inside, he wanted Dillian to lose so that way we could set up the mega fight that we've all been waiting for.
All right, Trill Dollar Bill.
That last part that you said, G, I agree with everything you said, but that last part, you know why that fight-by-fight basis thing is? Because usually fighters want that. Like when you get to a certain level, like Mikey Garcia, you know what I'm saying? They did like a fight-by-fight. When you're thinking you that man and you managing yourself and stuff, you usually, you do like that to negotiate fight-by-fight so you can get a better percentage of some bread instead of taking, all fight deal. You know what I'm saying? In case something else.
Mikey, unified champ.
Yeah.
Pacquiao, all champion, all kind of divisions. What's Dillian Whyte?
But Dillian gets good fights against like Joseph. I'm saying where he can make more money than what he would do if he was in a package deal. You feel what I'm saying? And like Dillian is his own boss. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody's his own boss, that's usually how they do it. But I agree with everything you said. I think it's 50-50. I think he looks at it a little bit as like business. This is a win-win for me. Either way. Then on the personal side, I think he really does like Dillian. I think, you work with somebody for so long, you get to know him, you're hanging out with him, it feel like he did share a little bit of Dillian's frustration. Everything that Dillian went through trying to become the WBC mandatory, and he's looking at it like, damn, he went through all this. He's definitely going to do this mandatory. He was the one pushing for it. Like, I know he's definitely going to do it. Before Dillian even got up to say anything, he was saying, I know Dillian is going to want to have this rematch because of the rematch clause in there. I think he does like Dillian. I think they do have a relationship. And like we were saying before, like G, you were saying before, I don't know if it was Gia Complex, was saying like this might be just Dillian's aura, what he puts out in the world. But behind closed door, he might be just a totally different guy, like Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner to the world, he comes off like he's a jerk, you know what I'm saying? But behind closed doors, everybody knows he's a lovable guy, you know? So maybe he does feel bad for him on that part, but then on the business side, he's looking at it like it's a win, you know? He's winning like that. So I do agree with you with that, G. I think it's 50-50.
All right, Complex.
Like I said in the other video, I think it works for Eddie's favor to actually have Dillian as a mandatory, because it's like this is a Game of Thrones here. You want to position yourself to always have a shot at the title, because holding a piece of the heavyweight crown brings in millions of dollars. So promotional wise, everything, right? Like even if you have one belt, you can market it as a heavyweight champion of the world and make 7 figures. I think he is gutted for Dillian because, like, one, on a personal note, he's his friend. Then 2, from even a professional standpoint, Dillian was his kind of backup plan. So, like, like I said in the last video with Bob Arum, if Dillian were to happen to beat Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, whoever wins out of that fight, now he has the belt, and then Eddie Hearn controls all the belts. Now he can do the mega fight. Maybe it's not as big money, but you still keep the entire purse. You keep everything 100% in-house. What's more is that if let's say Dillian kept that and whatever happens, AJ loses, then you got Dillian a mandatory shot to get a shot at it. Because if Dillian now doesn't have any kind of shot, let's say he loses again to Povetkin, and then let's say AJ loses. Now Matchroom has no heavyweight belts. Now you got to wait in line mandatory style to get your next shot, which can take forever. So it's a big deal when you get a shot at the heavyweight title. So I don't think he would be happy that Dillian would lose that position. You know what I mean? It's like you're very close. You're so close to getting somebody a world title shot, especially. Povetkin's kind of within the Matchroom sphere. I think he has his own promoter, but they work very closely. But it's a lot harder to promote Povetkin, who's older and doesn't speak English, to your mostly UK base. Dillian's from the UK. You got the whole storyline of the 1,000 days, whatever. All that's out the window now. So I think it is a loss for him. I don't think they expected Dillian to lose. So I don't think he wanted Dillian to lose. I think he wanted him to win, because even if Dillian won, even if he kind of got in the way of the mega fight, it still gives you a chance at collecting more belts. And that's the end of the day, with the longevity in sport, is control. Having control of, the belts are marketing tools. So you want to say, I've got the heavyweight champion of the world, or I've got 2 heavyweight champions of the world, or 3 or 4, whatever, right? Because each one of those brings in a mega crowd, a mega amount of money. So, yeah, I think he was gutted.
Hey guys, can we give Complex a round of applause on that argument? Because that was it.
Yeah, I like that.
I was saying, you had me go.
Fairly agree with it.
G no more. I'm back to G, because that was logical. Good job, man. I'm just saying. You see what you
finally listen to me. Yeah. First time you listen to me.
You're finally talking about something where you have no bias. That's what's happening.
I do feel Eddie felt gutted. Like, when that knockout happened, Dillian had to fight. And then when that knockout happened, it was all over. He just like, damn. Like, I think a moment, Eddie Hearn's had a moment before he got in front of the cameras. But, right now, I bet you he's sending in a call or a text or something to Dillian, telling him to keep his head up. We'll schedule the rematch when it's all set. And you'll get you another shot at your title shot. But, it's still a business at the end of the day, and he can't just dwell upon Dillian's loss. He has had a lot of fighters who's lost in front of him, and he's used to it. So it's business.
Well, I'm saying, you gonna say something, Trevor?
No, I said back to business.
No. I think he felt sorry for Dillian. I think he was sympathetic for Dillian, and I think he understands Dillian's struggle and what he's gone through to get mandatory status as the WBC challenger for the title. But I don't think he was gutted. If you want to see gutted, look at how he looked when AJ lost. Look at him with his hands in his hair like this, and he's just like, I don't know. And just look at how he was on like the edge of his seat during the rematch. And then look at him even after Anthony Joshua won the rematch. And he was like, oh, man. Because, see, his company was on the line in the Joshua rematch. It was more than just like Dillian losing. They still got Joshua. Right? Mm-hmm. When Joshua lost to Ruiz and then he had to go back for the rematch, that was the golden goose. So you can see it in his face. He couldn't hide it. It was emotion. It was just body language. It was reaction. It was just everything. You could see it. His company was on the line. And everyone knew it. G knew it. Complex knew it. When they were picking Ruiz, they knew it. They were picking the demise of matchroom boxing. That's what they were doing. That's what everyone was doing. That's what they were hoping for. And when Joshua won, Eddie Hearn breathed in a sigh of relief because he knew Matchroom survived another day. Dillian Whyte getting knocked out. He just doesn't get the title shot when he thought he was going to get it. But the company's not on the line. So that's one reason I don't believe that Eddie Hearn was gutted. Another reason I don't believe Eddie Hearn was gutted is because they wanted Dillian Whyte to step aside and let the big fight happen. But Dillian Whyte said he wasn't going to step aside. He refused to step aside. He wanted his shot, right? And he wants his shot despite Fury and Joshua reaching an agreement in principle. Because you saw that planet photograph of Joshua and Fury looking at each other laughing. I hear people saying AJ's scared now. I think AJ wants to fight, and I think Fury wants to fight. I think they both want to cash that check, and they both will live with the result of that fight. If they lose, they'll look at that check and be all right. I think both guys want that fight. So Dillian was a hurdle. Could mess up the mega fight, and now he's not. He's not. Dillian is not a hurdle anymore because he got Povetkin problems. And even like you said, Complex, like I do believe that Eddie Hearn promotes Povetkin. So he still has a shot, whether it's Dillian or Povetkin at the WBC. So he didn't lose nothing. He just transferred from Dillian to whatever. But what he inherited was time that would allow Joshua and Fury to get it on for Undisputed. So I think he's not gutted because it's actually a good thing for him. White can go on and win that rematch and still get his shot later after Tyson Fury and Joshua get it on for Undisputed. And it's even better for him because now he got two guys fighting for Undisputed. And whoever wins, he still would have Undisputed if Joshua wins. Which is another reason why I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Bob Arum's able to get Pulev to take more step-aside money at this point. Because it wasn't to Bob Arum's advantage to let Pulev take step-aside money and not go at AJ, but he's not saying that because he said Pulev was going to do the same to AJ. So whatever, take your shot then. But what I'm saying to you is you have a scenario now where the fight for Undisputed is more likely to happen, and it's because Dillian Whyte lost. And it's not like Eddie Hearn lost anything. He can promote Povetkin too. So for him, it's a win-win. And that's why I said I'm not saying that he wanted Dillian to lose. I'm not saying like, he's doing cartwheels because Dillian Whyte lost, but there were pros in it for him in a Dillian Whyte loss. And I think he's okay with that too.
Hold on, I got a question though. Was that really Eddie Hearn's backyard or is that Matchroom's headquarters? That house is humongous. So I'm like, is that really his crib?
I heard Eddie been trying to show off his house. So
I want somebody to know that Eddie's that guy.
If that's his crib,
Eddie's been trying
he ain't
to
got no problem right now. Because that crib is Like,
hey, just throw it in my backyard, put a barbecue on. You know what I'm saying?
You see Eddie singing karaoke? This dude Eddie, man.
Whatever you want. Please like and subscribe. Let us know how you feel. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's the Boxing Bros.
Catch me creeping down the dark street. This is where me and the zombies meet. Guarantee we all gonna eat. It's Zombie Ray again with HD. I'm a zombie in the night, you better run from me. Zombie Ray in the house, you better run, homie. Brought a mask and some gloves with some thugs with me. I came to do damage, who wanna purge with me? Super Saiyan zombie, I'll be